A 1-inch hole can flood your boat at 50 gallons per minute. That's faster than most bilge pumps can handle. And these are the fittings that sink more boats than storms, collisions, and groundings combined. Most boat owners don't even know they're there. This is the story of thru-hull fittings, those small, often ignored pieces of hardware that create literal holes in your boat, and why the ones on your 30-year-old vessel might be ticking time bombs, hiding what marine surveyors call the pink death. Here's a statistic from Boat US insurance claims that should keep every boat owner awake at night. For every boat that sinks underway, 4 sink at the dock, just sitting there, tied to the slip, doing absolutely nothing. Of those dock sinkings, 50% happen because thru-hull fittings below the waterline simply give up. That's not engine failure or bad weather. That's a fitting the size of your fist quietly surrendering while you're home sleeping. So what exactly is a thru-hull fitting? It's a specially designed plumbing piece that allows water to pass through your hull, either flowing in or out. They're everywhere on your boat. Engine cooling water enters through one. Your bilge pump pushes water out through another. Sinks, showers, cockpit drains, marine toilets all depend on thru-hulls. A typical sailboat carries 5, 6, even 10 of them, and every single one creates a hole in your boat below the waterline. The only barrier between a dry bilge and a catastrophic 50-gallon-per-minute leak through a 1-inch thru-hull is a properly installed and functioning Seacock. 50 gallons per minute. Let that sink in for a moment. That's your boat filling like a bathtub with the tap cranked wide open. If your bilge pump can't keep pace, and most can't handle that volume, you're going down. Now let's discuss what happens to these fittings over time, because this is where things get truly terrifying. There's a phenomenon the marine world calls dezinsification, sometimes known as the pink death, and that name earned its reputation. This is different from electrolysis, which requires electrical current. Dezinsification is a galvanic corrosion process that happens chemically in salt water. Most lower-cost marine fittings use brass, which combines copper and zinc in an alloy. When brass sits in salt water for years, the zinc slowly bleeds out of the metal through galvanic corrosion. What remains is a weak, porous network of pure copper. You can spot it by its distinctive pink color, which contrasts sharply with healthy brass's golden tone. But here's the sinister part. From the outside, the fitting might appear perfectly fine. It might show no obvious cracks or warping. But internally, it's deteriorated to something with the structural integrity of a dinner plate. One marine consultant described finding a fitting on a Beneteau that dezinsification had literally transformed into pink clay. When a dezinsified fitting fails, it doesn't slowly leak. It explodes. One sailor recalled the moment a skin fitting failed 3 miles offshore. The frantic rush to beach the boat with a towel jammed in the hole was, in his words, an experience he never wanted to repeat. This is why material selection matters enormously. Real bronze, specifically silicon bronze, contains little to no zinc, making it virtually immune to dezinsification. Its primary alloying element is tin, not zinc. A quality silicon bronze Seacock can function flawlessly for well over 30 years. There are documented cases of tapered cone bronze valves pulled from 72-year-old wooden boats that, after cleaning and lap fitting, still operated perfectly. But here's the catch. Bronze costs serious money, and for decades, some manufacturers took shortcuts. In the 1970s, foundries in Taiwan affiliated with Chang Iron were melting down scrap brass, copper, and bronze, recasting it, and selling it to boat builders as marine-grade fittings. Major builders like Grand Banks and Hans Christian unknowingly installed these substandard fittings on their boats. The industry didn't clean up its act until the late 70s and 80s, when manufacturers switched to reputable suppliers like Groco, Buck Algonquin, and Wilcox Crittenden. If you own a boat built before the mid-1980s, those original fittings deserve serious scrutiny. You might think a marine survey would catch this problem. In theory, yes. Insurance companies typically require surveys every 3 to 5 years. Surveyors check thru-hull condition, Seacock operation, and signs of corrosion. The U.S. Coast Guard includes thru-hull fittings on its official T-boat inspection checklist. The ABY-CH27 standard, currently in its 2021 revision, requires that any installed Seacock assembly meet ANSI/UL 1121 certification and withstand a 500-pound static load for 30 seconds without failure. International boats may also reference ISO 9093-2 standards. But here's where surveys fall short. A surveyor doing an in-water inspection can verify that a Seacock opens and closes. They can spot visual signs of corrosion. What they often can't determine is whether dezincification has been silently consuming the interior of a fitting for 20 years. That fitting pulled from a 40-year-old boat looked fine when it came out. Only closer inspection revealed the truth. Surveys routinely flag another critical issue too. A shocking number of boats have non-compliant installations. Boat owners or previous mechanics thread a standard ball valve directly onto a thru-hull fitting, connecting two components that were never designed to work together. The ball valve has tapered NPT threads. The thru-hull has straight NPS threads. They don't properly interface. Real-world testing confirms that a 3/4-inch marine-rated ball valve threaded to a matching thru-hull fitting doesn't meet ABY-CH27 standards. One boat owner learned this lesson when a spare alternator slid off a shelf, struck the inboard end of such an assembly, and snapped the thru-hull clean off. That event, he later said, scared the living hell out of him and converted him into a firm believer in proper flanged Seacocks. Proper installation requires flanged Seacocks, through-bolted to backing plates made of encapsulated marine plywood, or GPO3 composite material, never solid wood. All hoses need double clamping with stainless steel clamps. Critically, you need bronze fasteners, not stainless, to avoid galvanic corrosion between dissimilar metals. If you're wondering about replacement costs, they're not cheap, but they're not optional either. Parts alone run $43 for a basic bronze ball valve, up to $83 for a Marilon Seacock, with premium options like True Design composite fittings running even higher. Labor is where it really hits though. Because most thru-hulls are bedded with 3M5200, a marine adhesive that's essentially permanent, boat yards often use a hole saw to remove the entire assembly, backing plate and all, leaving a 4 to 6 inch hole that needs re-glassing before the new fitting goes in. Expect to pay $500 to $1,000 per hole. 5 thru-hulls means $5,000. Here's what you should do right now. First, know your holes. Memorize the location of every thru-hull on your boat. Make a laminated diagram and tape it to your navigation station. If water starts rising, those seconds spent searching could mean the difference between saving or losing your boat. Second, inspect annually. Look for discoloration, stiffness in Seacock operation, moisture rings, and any pink or green tinting on bronze fittings. Third, exercise your Seacocks regularly so they don't seize. Fourth, keep tapered wooden plugs aboard in sizes to match every thru-hull. They're your emergency stopgap if a fitting fails at sea. Finally, budget for replacement every 10 to 15 years, especially in saltwater. Don't wait for failure. By the time you see the pink death, you're already living on borrowed time. Consider scheduling a Coast Guard Auxiliary free vessel safety check to get an independent assessment of your thru-hull condition. A marina manager in Marina del Rey put it perfectly. The thru-hulls, or drive shaft stuffing box seals, are the main two culprits for sinking at the slip. Even worse, usually the boat owner has let their insurance lapse, so they're paying for everything out of pocket. Your boat has holes in it. That's by design. But whether those holes function as your boat's vital organs or become its fatal weakness depends entirely on whether you take them seriously. Don't wait for the survey to fail. Don't wait for the pink to show. Go check your Thru-Hulls today.